Okay, I'm so glad you could fill in. It's so good to see you on the set. I'm really looking forward to this.
Well, thank you, Harold. Thank you.
And in the audience, welcome very much to Conversation. We were billed at this particular time to do a program with David Fisher. He's not been able to come on time and so forth, so we're now having a program. Fortunately, we have among the MNN producers here at MNN a number of very interesting people, one of which is our guest for this program, and that's Danny Darrow. And Danny, welcome so much to Conversations. Thank you. I've been wanting to do this. Glad to be able to talk to you for an hour.
Thank you very much for having me, Harold. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It really is, because it's good. We've been meeting in the hall, as they say.
Yeah, well, the hall's a wonderful place, you know.
They had a thing, Kids in the Hall, on Comedy Channel for a while. But fill us in a little bit on yourself. Born and raised, that kind of thing.
Oh, my God.
I know you're a comic and you've been in show business and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But fill us in on your background. Born and raised, a little educated, and we'll talk about the human condition, comedy.
Born and raised in Chicago.
Okay.
And I was brought up to become a rabbi.
Okay.
And of course, I didn't like that too much.
Huh?
So I left, and when I was 12 years old, I worked in Minsky's and the Rialto, and I worked the strip joints, and I worked the burlesque, the vaudeville, the burlesque, the vaudeville.
You ever see The Jazz Singer with Jolson, where
he was
going to become a
yeah.
showbiz singing person?
Yeah.
His daddy was all upset because he should be a cantor already.
Yeah.
So is that the situation? Orthodox Jewish?
Yeah, Orthodox. I come from a list of cantors. My grandfather's cantor. My father was a cantor. In fact, we used to tour for the High Holy Days. We used to go out to Madison, Wisconsin, to Rockford, Illinois, and we used to split up in 3 different temples. And we used to do the morning service, the afternoon service, the evening service, and we used to daven or pray next to Kusevitsky, next to Tucker, next to the big greats, the real great cantors of all time.
Okay, I don't know the cantors. Okay. I wouldn't know who the great cantors were. I know Caruso.
Yeah, well, Caruso wasn't the cantor.
Pavarotti in the realm of tenors, singers, and opera, but the cantors, I don't know. It's sort of esoteric to the Jewish synagogue.
Right. Kusevitsky.
But it's great. It's great voice.
Oh, they were fabulous. They were really fabulous, and I really didn't like it. And then my grandfather passed on, and of course, and my father passed on, and.
But they were Orthodox. They wanted you to become a cantor in the tradition.
Harold, right? I used to have these curls.
Yeah, the whole thing,
the curls and the black hat,
yeah,
and I used to wear the tzitzis, they used to call them, the tassels, and I used to, pray every morning and every afternoon and evening.
Is that the way it is with the really?
That's the real religious,
religious person, right, of the Jewish faith.
Harold,
Orthodox.
Orthodox, right?
Yeah, okay.
And I went to the Hebrew Theological College.
You did?
Of course I did.
Wait a minute. When you were 12, you were at Minsky's.
Well,
I mean, you made a break with the family tradition that they wanted you to become a great cantor and maybe rabbi. when you were 12. If you were hanging out at Minsky's
12 and 13. After I got bar mitzvah, I didn't want to do it anymore. So when I left the studies from the Hebrew Theological College, my grandfather wouldn't talk to me for a year. My father wouldn't talk to me for a year. Harold, it was wonderful. I had peace and quiet in the house.
Wow.
It was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I hope you got that all down on 8mm film as a film. I mean, that would be a great film. That's like Jolson.
Yeah,
same. That kind of jazz singer and everything like that.
That's right.
And a lot of tension there between people who are oriented toward that. That's a big thing. I can't quite get my mind around. I thought I heard you say 13 when you were hanging out at the stage door at Minsky's or something, which is a long way between that 13 and university or college.
It could be 14 because I've been in this business. My mother took me to California in 1948 to be on a TV show.
Okay.
And we rode.
What year were you born, if I may?
1937.
37.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just a kid. Okay.
I'm a kid?
Yeah. I mean,
Harold,
I was born in 1935. No wonder. I'm here to tell you, young man, it's all downhill from where you is.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand.
Yeah,
well, then, Harold, listen, I'm a baby compared to you.
All right. Right. So we got a little time under our belt.
Yeah, a little time under our belt, right. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So my mother took me out to California, and I was on this TV show, which was all live, and she took me on this train called the Super Chief. Do you remember the old Super Chief?
I remember it well. It was a big thing with my sister, my older sister, was 5 years older, so she was like big.
Yeah.
You know, you had another sister close. That was where we'd have fights and stuff. But the older sister, and she was movie struck. And she wanted to go at the age of 16 to go out to California, where one of our neighbors had moved to Santa Ana, because she was absolutely, totally head over heels, gaga over that dreamy Tom Drake. Do you remember Tom Drake?
Sure, Tom Drake.
He was the star of Meet Me in St. Louis.
Yeah.
So it became a big family thing, and she was only 16, but they had a family out of Santa Ana, so could she go on the Super Chief all the way across the country to California? Okay, we decided we had to drive from Detroit, where I was from, to Chicago to catch the Silver Chief, and she went and had a wonderful time, sat on the steps and actually met the man.
Isn't that wonderful?
The great dream of her life.
Of course.
She loved photo play and all that
Did they kiss and hug, Harold?
I don't think they got that. No, he was just very gentlemanly and everything.
Right,
but they persevered, and he had a Polish name and all that and everything. But that's the Silver Chief. Yeah, that was a big thing in our family.
Oh, yeah, sure. It was the great train of the era.
It was, yeah. And you went on that train with your mother.
Yeah, with my mother.
Now, wait a minute. Let me get it straight. You're davening with your dad with the had dreadlocks, or I don't know what they call them, the paces or something, and your mother is encouraging you to go on a television show in California.
Yeah.
Was there a conflict between the way your mother saw your future and the way your father and grandfather apparently saw your future?
My mother,
is there some tension in there?
Yes, okay. A lot of tension, because my mother was Americanized, and she was American, and my father was born in Pinsk and Minsk, in Poland, in Russia.
In Ukraine, right?
And my grandfather comes from there too.
Yeah, right.
And in my life story, I tell everybody that the authorities were looking for my grandfather to kill him, because in those days in Minsk and Pinsk, he was feeding, I think, 16 or 18 people living in one room with a loaf of bread, and he would run around and get a loaf of bread, and they were looking to kill him.
Kill him? I don't understand. Why kill?
Because he was stealing food to feed 16 people living in one room at that time.
That horrible criminal.
Yeah.
Criminal-minded. You come from a criminally-minded family. You're going to steal bread to feed the family.
Yes.
A criminal.
Of course. But it was,
I'm making a joke.
I know, but it was wonderful.
Yeah, Robin Hood.
That's right.
Right. But he was on the lam then, maybe, huh?
He was on the lam, and the thing is, when they were leaving to come to this country, and he was standing in line with his family, and they're looking to kill him. And
this is in Ukraine.
This is in Pinsk and Minsk.
Was that Ukraine? I think.
It was. No. I think the borderline of Russia and Poland.
Okay.
And so he tapped the guy on the shoulder neck. He says, "What's your name? What's your name?" He says, "Oh," he says, "Tell him I'm your brother," and give him my name. And that's how a lot of people left to get out.
Horrible,
Yeah. So they said, "This is my brother. This is his name." They came in, and when they came into this country, they were all different names. Everybody changed their names and everything just to stay alive.
Yeah, it was tough here at this end. They had down Lower East Side was more crowded. They had a little passing thing on what do you call it? Channel 13 or something. Say that was the heaviest concentration of population in the turn of the century, with immigrants coming in from East Europe and that sort of thing, anywhere in the world.
Yeah. I think it was.
It was just jammed in.
Yeah, I think it was like
really
1913 or something. Harold, 1913, 1950.
Yeah, my granddaddy came from that. I think he ran away. I'm not sure if he was a deserter. We're going to find out. My sister and I are going to just have you traced your DNA yet?
No, I didn't.
We're just in the process of tracing mine. I'm the last of the male, so we're going to trace it back. They'll trace you right back to where the hell your background is, DNA and everything. It's amazing, isn't it? The things that you're able to do now. Yeah. But you were Ashkenazi from there, and they spoke Russian. Did they speak Yiddish? Did they speak in the family Yiddish? Or?
They spoke Polish, Russian, I think Yiddish, and Yiddish. Well, Yiddish is a little Arabic. It's a little everything. Yeah. It's all mixed up.
You know from Yiddish now? Can you do it?
Can not anymore, because I'm a little.
Can you speak Hebrew?
A little. I used to, but
you're a fallen away Jew.
I lost. Yeah, I'm a fallen away
Jew.
That's right, fallen away.
Another loss.
I'm not a Jew anymore, Harold. I'm very sorry.
No, don't be. I mean, no. I'm glad. I love you the way you are.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's really good. That's background. Anyway, your mother I got digressing, but your mother took you off to a TV show.
Yeah, it took me off a TV show.
And you're 14, 13. You've done your bar mitzvah.
Yeah, well, I've done the bar mitzvah, yeah.
Okay.
And that's it.
But then you ended up, you went from being bar mitzvah at 13 to the university, temple, the university study to be a rabbi. That you got to be 18, 19, 20 before you finish all that.
No.
I mean, seriously involved.
I was in parochial school when I was 4 years old.
Parochial being Jewish? Or
being Jewish, yeah.
Being a normal American, I mean, a waspy American and everything, I associate parochial with Catholic.
Yeah.
The Catholic school was parochial, but the Jewish schools are also parochial.
Parochial also,
okay,
sure.
Yeah, right, okay.
Sure.
So you were in a Jewish school, but as a youngster, okay. When did you have your falling away? What made you decide to go on the Great White Way or the stage or whatever?
Well,
in contradistinction to what your dad and your granddad wanted you to do, that must be a big change that goes on in terms of a consciousness or something. Maybe you could share it with us for the benefit of people who are facing that now, who might be 13 or 14 and want to have a big change in their life.
Well, Harold, my family, they were all cantors in my family. Used to love to sing. So, but I didn't like to sing what they liked to sing. I like to sing what I like to sing.
The jazz singer.
Yeah, the jazz singer. So I had a little table and I had a little radio on there, and I used to sit alongside the table, and I used to listen to all these records and listen to all this beautiful music, and I used to start singing, and then my mother went. She didn't like it, so every time I would come home from school, I'd start singing. She would take the dishes out and she would throw dishes at me and smash everything in the house. So then what happened, Harold? What I did is I took a job delivering kosher chickens.
Okay.
All right. And I would save my money.
Yeah.
I'd save my money, and the chickens, Harold, I'm telling you, the chickens were wrapped up in newspaper, and I would deliver the chickens to the customers.
Right.
And the customers would open up the chicken and they would smell it, and they would say, kid, this chicken stinks. And I would tell
That's kosher.
Yeah, but I would say, lady, can you pass a test like that?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I would tell them,
were you doing it in a friendly kind of joke?
Oh, absolutely, friendly kind of test. Yeah, because she would lift up the
So you were a wise guy, funny.
No, I was always kidding around. I was always joking around.
Is different
no,
than
because
wise
you
guy,
deliver the chickens, they pick the arm up, they smell it, they smell this, they smell that, they smell other things. But then, when I left, she says, "Art, I'm going to keep the chicken." I says, "Well, where's my tip?"
Ah, right.
Yeah, so they had to give me a quarter. So every time I would save the money, and then I would go.
Quarters,
and then I would go for singing lessons. So I went for singing lessons.
And those things you were singing that your mother threw pots and pans, those are like popular songs?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were.
Eddie Cantor or what? Or
no, they were more like. I don't know if you remember Buddy Clark.
Oh yeah, I know him not well.
Buddy Clark, what he used to sing and everything else, and the regular normal singers.
Hit parade stuff. Remember?
Yeah, the hit parade stuff.
Hit parade
yeah,
on the
well,
radio?
that was I was even before the hit parade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing I used to like that, and so then I took singing lessons, and then I entered into a contest, and then I won a gold medal for the top male vocalist in Chicago from the Sun and Times.
Yeah.
And I still got it. It's a big hunk of gold.
Yeah, keep that.
I still got that.
Gold's going up.
Yeah, I know it's going up. Yeah, I know.
That may be your ace in the hole, brother.
I know.
Yeah.
And then, so I started singing on NBC every day.
Wait a minute, it's a big jump, brother.
Yeah,
how
I know.
old are you? I mean, you're going too fast.
I told you how old I am, Harold.
No, not now. I'm talking about then, when all this is going on.
Oh,
look at the dynamics. You got cantors and all that.
Yeah.
She's throwing pots and pans.
Yeah.
What a movie.
Yeah.
It should be a movie, right?
Well, I don't know.
It should be a movie. Your life would be a
well, my whole
movie.
life.
You know what I'm saying.
Harold, my whole life is on Wikipedia, Harold.
Yeah, okay, good. Well, that's it. Wikipedia just under your name.
Yeah, just under Danny Darrow.
Just under Danny Darrow.
Yeah, just go into Wikipedia. You'll hear my whole life story.
That Danny Darrow's got to be a stage name.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't want you to reveal your real name.
I'm not going to tell you.
You're not going to reveal
it's all on
right
Wikipedia.
Here and now.
You have to go on Wikipedia and see it. Harold, you got to do that.
Go Danny Darrow and you go to Wikipedia. And Darrow was my hero.
Really?
That was Clarence Darrow.
Listen, I had a...
Spelled the same way?
D-A-R-R-O-W.
Who's the PR guy that came up with that name? That's a great stage name. Danny Darrow.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Straight as an arrow.
The only
Robin
one... Okay,
Hood.
when I used to record... I used to record for MGM. I used to record for Dot Records. I used
Now
to
you
record
see, you're getting way ahead.
I know, because
I'm trying to
jumping
see
around.
the break with the thing with your mother, the family, and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
You're in California already,
Okay.
in 46. You're
Okay.
only a kid,
Okay.
and
Okay.
you know you're moving too fast.
Okay.
Is your problem, young
I know
man.
I am. Yeah,
you
I
got to
know.
slow down for us.
Okay,
old
let me
guys.
slow down. All right, Harold, let me slow down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So now, what else happened to me? Oh yeah,
How did you got into showbiz?
Yeah, I got into show business,
Right.
and
Made a break with the Cantor stuff.
I made a
with
made
the
a
religion.
break. Yeah,
With the religion, you still go shul?
No, I don't. I don't do it
You
anymore.
don't?
You know,
Okay.
occasionally, if I feel like I want to, say a prayer from my father, or say a prayer from my mother, I'll do that. It's called, it's called Kaddish.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
Kaddish.
Kaddish. So you can go and you could say, I know everything by heart, anyways.
Yeah.
I can do it wherever I am.
Yeah.
Or if you want to, you can go to a synagogue in the afternoon, and you have to have a minyan, which is like 10 people.
A gathering.
Yeah, gathering.
Like a quorum,
and then you say that, for like a day or so. And
you respect it.
Oh, of
but
course
you
I
just
respect
gotten
it.
off on other
I
avenues.
respect it, but I don't do it.
Right.
I'm terrible, Harold.
Yeah,
absolutely
I'm a fallen
terrible.
away Episcopalian.
I fell away.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. We got that in common.
Okay.
I would rather play baseball than go to Sunday school. But that's another issue.
Well,
but keep going because you're doing it, and you got into show, and you used to open for some real big time people.
Yeah, I used to open for Don Rickles in Las Vegas, and Jackie Mason, and Don Rickles,
and Mason,
and Jackie Mason. Every weekend I used to work with Jackie Mason.
Those are huge names in show business on a particular vein of comedy.
I used to also
really
open
hardcore cutting stuff.
Jerry Van Dyke every weekend. I used to work with Red Norvo every weekend. That's in Danville, Illinois.
Yeah, but this opening for Rickles.
Yeah.
Rickles was a piece of work. He was like a Gatling gun.
Yeah, I know he is.
I mean, he was really something else. You opened for him in a comedic way, or were you?
No, I'm a singer. I'm a singer.
You're a singer. You didn't do dance and stuff. You didn't sing and dance.
Oh, sure I did. Of course I did.
You do soft shoe?
No, I don't do soft shoe. I do jazz.
You do jazz. Okay.
I had a wonderful choreographer that staged my whole nightclub show. His name is Henry Latang, and Henry did the Cotton Club movies. And I used to, of course, I never was as good as Greg Hines or Maurice Hines, but we used to dance together in the classes and everything. And
Honey Coles, did you know Honey Coles?
No, Honey Coles.
Honey Coles was great, man. He was like a stare. I swear to God, he was great.
Yeah,
I loved him. They had the copacetic. You know the copacetic?
No, I don't know the copacetic. No.
That's Harlem stuff.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah,
really
I love Harlem stuff.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, real fabulous.
Honey Coles was a friend. I really loved him, and he was just divine.
Yeah, I used to work with Cavril Payne. I don't know if you remember Cavril Payne, and a lot of the Borscht Belt guys and everything else.
You did Borscht Belt.
Yeah, I did Borscht Belt.
But you opened for Rickles.
Yeah, well, that was later
when you
on.
open for somebody like that, you get to know them, right? I had a friend.
No, you don't.
You don't. They stay their own distance.
No, you go in, you do your shtick, you come out, they do theirs, and that's it.
Never the twain shall meet.
Well, you say hello and that's it.
Yeah,
you say hello and that's it.
But you don't get to be buddies. You could be, I guess.
Yeah, but
I had friends who opened for Mingus.
Yeah.
And they got to know each other pretty well. That was a comedy team, a comedy poet, you know. But that's interesting. The relationship is like the star or something. I guess. Anyway. So when did you get into it? Your mother's taking you to California. Last time I peeled off on one of these avenues.
Now we got to get rid of that, Harold.
Okay.
We got to get rid of that.
Okay.
And then what I did is I used to be a dancer, so I also got a bronze medal from the Harvest Moon Festival.
Okay, Harvest Moon.
It was Harvest Moon Festival in Chicago. This was in Chicago in those days, in the 50s, 1950s.
50s. Late?
I got a bronze.
Late 50s.
Yeah, late 50s.
Okay.
And what used to then after that, and you appeared before 50,000 people.
Why was it called Harvest Moon?
That's what they called it.
I know.
I don't know. Harvest Moon Festival.
Shine on, Harvest Moon.
But wait a minute.
Up in the sky. Should I try to become a singer?
If you want.
No.
Okay, you keep singing.
I'm not going to go.
Okay.
No. Stay here. Don't you dare leave me out here.
I won't.
I'm starved.
Okay, Harold. Okay. There was 50,000 people at the Coliseum, and
how many?
50,000.
Now for the Harvest Moon thing.
50,000.
And you got a bronze there?
I got a bronze.
Wow.
I got a bronze.
What were you doing? Do you remember?
I was singing
and
dancing.
Singing soft shoe or what?
No, just my regular show. My regular part of my show that I used to do.
Some people do tap, some people
I did tap, but I was terrible at tap.
Were you really?
I was awful at tap.
Why would somebody be bad at tap and good on ballroom? Or what were you good at? I'm trying to see you.
Okay.
A tango
okay.
or
I was a
minuet.
I was a ballroom.
minuet. No.
I was ballroom. I used to teach over at Dale's.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I used to teach.
The whole gamut?
Well, whatever, ballroom,
Goes all the way from
the Lindy,
tango.
the Foxtrot,
Lindy. Is Lindy the one where you used to go under?
No, that's the jazz, the jazz.
Yeah, but they had a thing that was
swing,
from the Caribbean. Swing, okay. Sammy K.
Yeah, well, that's Sammy K.
Okay, yeah.
In fact, what I did with Sammy K is in my show, I do a show, a salute for Frank Sinatra.
Oh, he was the chairman.
Yeah. And I do all of his songs. In fact, I was at Tavern on the Green with my band.
Yeah. Band? You had a band?
Yeah, I have a band.
Okay.
I
See, your life's too damned interesting. You can't pack it all in from cantor to band leader. You know, Lawrence Welk, like Lawrence Welk stuff. You like?
Well, no, I'm not exactly like Lawrence Welk.
I'm making a joke.
I know. It's not like Lawrence Welk. There's 6 record albums out. They can get them on, on
the internet.
On the internet, on Amazon and on CD Baby and so on and so forth and everything else.
Of your band?
No, of my recordings.
Of your recordings.
I've got so many recordings, but I never did anything like that. But what I did do was I incorporated that in my live show with all kinds of whistles and horns and all kinds of comedy stuff.
I'm beginning to channel Spike Jones.
Yeah, Spike Jones. yeah, exactly right. You know, because every time I start talking, and if I talk to the band or I talk to the audience and I say, "Hey, lady," so on and so forth, it goes beep 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 beep.
Yeah.
You know, and it's it's cute. It works. It works.
Yeah, so you were doing that, but again, what kind of dancing are you doing in the Golden Harvest or whatever that was?
Oh,
Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
What were you dancing?
Yeah, ballroom, just ballroom.
Was it a stair type stuff? Was it?
Yeah, the same type of thing, but not as good as him.
Oh, he was like a dream. Man.
A dream.
The only place I can go, Henny Coles was up there with him. And he was like that. There were some others, Gene Kelly and that. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like a movie.
Oh, Harold, I don't even come close to that. Harold, those people were so wonderful.
Got Marge and Gower Champion was good. Gower Champion was great.
Yeah, they were so wonderful.
Yeah,
so
and
wonderful.
So that the dancing and the singing sort of go together as a DNA. You know? Yeah, it's a rhythmic thing.
But I used to sing with Ella Fitzgerald.
Wait a minute.
With Sarah Vaughan.
You're hanging out with the biggies.
Of course.
When you say sing with, you mean at a saloon at night
over
a beer or what?
This was at shows or at festivals in Chicago when they had special events. Since I was on NBC every single day.
Okay, we're getting
over
way
there.
Ahead.
They used to.
We're getting way ahead of the curve here. You've had too interesting a life. You got your thing is the Harvest Moon was You got a bronze. And
I think it was.
You were dancing. You were into dancing. You were into singing.
That was in 1954, Harold. I think.
54.
1954.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Korea.
And then I'm gonna tell you something really interesting. Okay. I didn't do much nightclub work, and I had a manager.
Okay.
His name was Pat McLaren.
Okay.
And Pat's,
Polish fellow.
Polish fellow, sure, Polish, big Polish fellow. You all. Okay. He said, Danny, he says, I'm going to take you, and I want you to meet somebody that's very well connected.
Right.
And he's going to help you work all the circuits all over.
Okay.
So he took me down a dark alley. We walked up an alley. Walked up in Chicago, walked up these little steps.
Right.
And he knocked on the door to this dingy bar.
Knocked 3
It looked like a bordello.
Like a speakeasy.
Opened up the door. A guy came out in a gray hat with a dingy suit with a skinny tie. And he says, Danny, I want you to meet Jack Ruby.
Oh, wow. Jack Ruby.
Jack Ruby.
Now, wait a minute. That's not the Jack Ruby of Dallas fame.
That's the Jack Ruby that shot Oswald.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, talk about that. That's really 54.
1954, 1955, maybe.
So what was Jack Ruby up to then?
Well, I don't know what he was up to because I didn't talk to him too much. Pat talked to Jack, and I'm standing there, and I'm just a little kid, you know. And and he says Danny's on NBC every day, and he broadcasts here. He broadcasts there.
1917.
Yeah. No, I wasn't. I was maybe but this was 54, 37, 47, 37, 47, 50.
17.
It's like 17.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And and he says, I want to help him get work and everything else, and then that's it. And I said, how do you do, sir? And everything else. I was very polite, not as crazy as I am now, but but I was very polite.
You're more crazy than you were then? All right, I'm trying to get the rhythm here. I'm trying to get in. You're more crazy then than now? Is that what you were saying?
No, I think
you're
I'm
more crazy now
than I was then. Yes.
I think that's good.
I think it's good.
The grandfathers should be crazy as loons.
Of course.
Because
listen,
what the hell? Why not?
Harold, if we
all the baloney is gone.
Yeah.
Or the need to cotton to the baloney stuff. But
Harold, life is very short. If we don't laugh every day, if we don't have fun every day,
I'd crawl up.
It's not worth living.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah,
good, laughter is really good. But you met Jack Ruby. Did it pan out? Did you?
I started working
Did you become a soldier in his army? Or
no. I would work. I'll tell you, I would work in Danville, Illinois, and they had 4 clubs out there. They had the Top Hat Club, they had the Adobe Club, they had the Lamplighter Club, and the Top Hat Club was a strip joint.
And when you say they, is that Jack Ruby and company?
No,
Jack Ruby.
That's the associates.
The associates?
Yeah.
That's sort of like a mafioso.
That's the mafioso. That's exactly right. Okay.
Well, Jack Ruby, what's his background? Was he Irish? Or
I don't know. He was well connected. That's all I know.
Well connected in the showbiz.
In the underworld. It was an underworld thing.
Yeah. Okay. Underworld. Okay.
Yeah.
Chicago's
so they had to play.
That, yeah.
So I used to work. I used to work every weekend in the Top Hat Club with all the strippers. Then I used to go to the Adobe and work with Red Norvo. We used to do head charts. And Red Norvo used to back up Sinatra also.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I used to run down the road and open for Jerry Van Dyke, that's Dick's brother, in the main room, and then run upstairs and work in the cocktail lounge and do a set there. I used to do 16 shows a night.
Cut it out. How
Yeah.
can you do that? That's
Well,
when you have energy when you're
I was a
young.
kid. I was all full of, I'm not like I am now. I'm a little slow compared to what I was before.
Yeah. But that was really busy. And where's Did you say Danville? Or it's a
Danville,
suburb of
Illinois.
Chicago?
It's a college town.
Oh,
it's a college town. Yeah.
What college?
I have no. Champaign, maybe Champaign, Illinois, or I don't know.
Urbana or Champaign Urbana. No.
I don't know, Harold.
That's a big university center.
Yeah,
downstate. It's downstate. Champaign Urbana.
Harold, I don't know Harold.
You don't know your university campus as well? You just knew the clubs that surrounded the campus.
That's
where
right.
everybody went.
That's right.
Okay, that's great. That's where all the real learning took place.
Yeah,
Right. And you were working a real fast schedule.
Yeah. I was working 16 shows a night, and then I would collect all the money from everyone. Listen to this, from the guys. Yeah. I would pay off all the acts. Okay, I would come back.
Why would you be paying off the
because
other acts?
That's what I was told to do.
You were like a manager?
I would no. I wasn't a manager. I was like the.
You were a bag man.
No, I wasn't. No. I wasn't a bag man.
No.
I was never a bag man. Harold, don't.
Well, I mean, you were distributing the loot.
No, I was picking it up. I was picking up the money.
Okay.
I was picking up the money. I would pay everyone off, and then I would give.
You don't have to say off. You paid everybody.
I paid them.
You don't have to pay them off. Pay them off means like you get to the mayor in order to get the bill passed.
Well, no, I would never do that. Harold, I would never do that.
Not that.
Yeah, no,
you were always
not
on the up and up.
The acts, I would pay
you
the
were
acts.
around a lot of people that weren't, but you were always there as a moral
I was always there.
Guiding post.
Yeah, I made sure everything was all right. I'd come back, I'd give my manager the money, and and I would take my pay for working so hard on the weekends. And then, of course, whatever he did with him and Jack, it was strictly their business.
Who got to set what was real your fair share of that whole loot there? I mean, for your hard work. Who get to set that at that could be like, say, 5%. That's an agent. It could be like 95%. No. That's a CEO. You know. Who set that? Was that you set it? Or
no, I didn't set it.
Was it Jack Ruby set it?
I don't know. No, my manager told me you're getting X number of dollars, flat rate. Okay. I would take mine out, give him all the money. I was very honest. I never cheated anybody in my whole life. Never.
That's really good. That's really good. Don't lie, cheat, or steal.
Never.
Those are 3 good things, don't you think? Morality still matters, even though you haven't got it all codified within some religious thing or something. Morality matters at all levels, don't you think?
Well, that's how you were brought up. This is how I was brought up.
Yeah. Integrity is integrity. And it can be at all different levels and in all different expressions, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And you were always integral.
Always honest.
That's good.
I always kept my word. I always did what I was told, which is fair and honest and reasonable and stuff like that.
And you hung out with some really interesting people, and you were in showbiz.
Well, I met some very interesting people in my life. Yeah.
I'll bet you did.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be something to write a book about it?
Yeah, everyone's
Could you
telling me
write?
this.
Do you write? You don't write.
Sure I write.
You
Of course
do
I
write?
write.
You write. Do you write a blog?
I even wrote my own TV show over here, for God's sakes.
You're doing a TV show here now.
Sure.
Okay, boy, we're getting talent galore over here
Yeah.
at MNN. Welcome aboard the good ship MNN, my brother.
Well, thank you,
yes,
Harold.
you finally hit the big time. Forget Jackie Mason, and everything. Yeah, right. No, it might be serious. Yeah, that's really good. But it's so interesting and everything. I don't know where to go. So you're a singer. You want to sing? You don't do a cappella. You couldn't.
No.
You want to do? Should we do?
Harold, I don't want to close your show down.
Roman and the Gloman.
I don't want to show
Roman and the Gloman.
Harold, I don't want to
Come
close your
on,
show down.
no,
I don't
okay.
want to. It would be terrible, awful.
Okay. So you don't do that, right?
No, I don't do that.
When we were in college, around 54, we had a place talking about the citizens now, not the pros, and that they had a place, and they had what they called. It came out of the Dakotas, I guess Germany, and that. But they had what they called a Ratskeller, and you'd go to a Ratskeller, a guy would be sitting there playing a piano, and then they would play old George M. Cohan songs. They had big oak tables, and you would drink steins of beer, and everybody after a couple steins of beer thought they were Caruso or Gallicurci or something like that, and everybody would just sing. Like a community sing. It sounds almost hokey and everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened to that, but that place used to be jammed, and it was great.
Really?
Everybody would sing, and they would sing, I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy, and all these songs that everybody knew. Nobody sings anymore, it seems to me, in the body politic. They're waiting since the Beatles.
Wow.
Something happened, didn't it? It's somewhere the group singing or that kind of stuff just all went away at a level of something that I think it's a great shame, and I never know the words, or maybe that's just that I'm old.
Okay, now, Harold.
But it's gone.
Okay, on my show, I do singing. I do skits like Benny Hill and Charlie Chaplin. I do all kinds of crazy.
Funny.
We loved. Everybody loved him. He was so
wacky.
wonderful. All right, and when I sing, what we're going to do now is
you're going to sing now?
No, I'm not going to sing now on my show.
A little tease.
No. There's going to be words. There's going to be words of the songs coming underneath.
Let's hear for
No, Harold, I'm leaving. Harold, listen, there's going to be like the words just like karaoke, because that's what people are doing. Because everybody that gets together, and in these bars, like you said years ago, it was like a karaoke thing.
Well, karaoke, I think it was somebody up there singing into a mic with a lot of. It's not the same as the group singing. People would just sit around, and you got to get half drunk. Not drunk, but half drunk.
Yeah.
Drink 4 or 5 quarts of beer, and then everybody's singing at the top of their voice, and everybody's linking arms and all that.
Harold,
it's like the Hofbrauhaus kind of thing in Germany.
Harold, let me ask you a personal question.
People don't do it anymore.
Harold, do you drink, Harold?
No, I don't, as a matter of fact. I got drunk once in my life. That was enough for me.
Yeah, I don't drink either, so here we are.
I don't drink. No, I don't.
Here we are.
I don't like the taste.
Yeah.
It's very gauche to say that. But I really like the taste of grape juice more than wine.
I love grape juice.
Wine doesn't seem to taste good.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's bouquet, and there's this, and there's that, and all these kind of things, and it's very gauche to say that because it's an in thing to be able to appreciate the finer things.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think it just tastes bad.
Harold, do you think
compared to fruit juice?
Do you think that we're boring by not drinking?
I have no idea. I just go where the taste is good, and that's in good fruit juice.
And I do the same thing?
Yeah, right. I mean,
I do the same thing.
I don't know. The alcohol is sort of, I have been drunk. I got drunk once in my life.
I did too.
Only once? Once was enough?
Real bad.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
no, when I say drunk, I mean, you have a couple beers. You think you're drunk. But I mean, have you ever really, really, really been drunk?
Yeah, I was so drunk. I was sick. I was sick, Harold. I was sick for 3 days. And I didn't know what to do. And it was horrible. Mm-hmm. It was horrible. Mm-hmm. And then I called some of my friends. I said, what am I going to do? I made a terrible mistake. I didn't realize what I was doing. He says, have another drink. I says, what are you, crazy? Another drink I should have? I'll get even sicker. So I think what happened was I just started taking bromo seltzers, and I started taking everything, and then eventually after a week, I started feeling better.
Yeah, it took a week.
It took a week.
That's a bad one. Yeah, I don't know. And then that's getting into things like drugs.
Yeah.
Did you ever fool around with drugs?
No.
Did you mainline a lot of heroin and stuff like that?
Never did.
You didn't do that?
Never did.
Never mainlined?
No.
You never did? Just
mainlined?
Yeah.
Harold.
Never did it real right,
I never did anything.
You didn't?
No,
Boy,
I didn't.
you are. Did you belong to the Boy Scouts of America?
No.
No?
No, never.
You never did? You
no,
didn't fit in?
No,
Cub
I never.
Scout? Did you become a Cub Scout?
No, I never did. I was in.
You're not a
I was
joiner.
in the National Guard. I was in the Army Reserves.
Oh.
But I never became a Boy Scout. I never became anything like that at all. Nothing. No, I was always pretty good.
You never got into drugs?
No.
How did you live in that kind of environment with all that fast-paced action and all
I'll
that?
tell
There was
you,
a lot of drugs floating around there.
Okay.
And you hung around jazz guys. You love jazz. You,
Oh,
I heard
yeah.
you say jazz
I used
dancing.
to work with a
jazz
guy.
men used to do pretty good for knowing about how to get into a certain frame of mind through the use of some sort of substance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Must have been around a lot.
Yeah.
Sitting right there on the table.
I know.
And they're all saying, do
you just
it.
reminded
How
me.
did you not? How did you resist and say, no, I will not? How did you resist all of that, if I may, when you were in that environment? Share it with us. Your strength of character.
Strength of character.
Where is the source of your great strength of character, Darrow?
I think it's in this cup, Harold. It must be in this cup, Harold. Okay.
That's God's good water.
I know. Great.
Yeah.
When I used to run around with my old 12-inch recordings, we used to go to these discotheques.
Yeah.
And especially one I won't name it, which was very famous. And they used to pass out dishes.
Studio 54?
No.
Way back when?
It was in 1980, about 1980.
Right.
And when you go in, and they used to spin your records and stuff like this in the discotheques and everything else.
Oh, they would take your records and spin them?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
They would be walking around with these little dishes with white powder in it.
Okay. Yeah.
And they would say, you want some, and I said, what is it? And they would say, it's
up or down.
It's up or down. They said, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, a lot of the other acts, the entertainment acts, would always do that.
Yeah.
I never fit into that mold. Everybody else fit right in.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of that in showbiz.
Yeah. I never went back. I said, no, I don't want to do that. I was too conservative at the time. Now I'm totally off the wall, but I was too conservative at the
now
time.
You're mainlining, right?
No, Harold, I don't.
No, oh, you're not. Okay. Oh.
Listen, you know what I'm mainlining?
No.
Harold, I'm mainlining. Love. Life and love and happiness and laughter. And if you don't laugh and if you don't have fun, no one's going to keep you happy but yourself. Harold,
right.
You've got to keep yourself happy in order to make someone else happy.
What about if you're happy? What about the world? Are you positive? Do you have a positive sense for the human prospect?
It all depends upon the human prospect.
Do you think about those things? Do you think about politics at all? Do you think about, like, you know what I mean?
Well, okay.
Or is it, just all laughs? There's some people say, we're never going to talk about religion or politics. The two things, we're going to talk about Bendix washers or something. There's not much left. You know what I mean?
All right.
Are you political at all? Do you have an idea of what's needed in the human prospect? All that kind of thing.
Harold,
are you concerned for the least advantaged of the world, or you don't care? Are you only just trying to get cozy and sycophant with the rich and powerful people that can be doing you benefit and get you a better place to live and all that? What's your state of mind in terms of associating with your fellow human beings? Particularly the disparities between wealth and power.
Okay, all I can say is that in my show, Harold, Harold, you cover so much. I mean, I can't get everything in this segment. But what I do in my show is I wrote a skit called Eric Van Dyke, which is the greatest newscaster in the entire world. All right.
Go on. And you write your skits.
Oh I write my skits. And the thing is that it's on everything that your government wants you to know. All right. And I come out like a Charlie Chaplin type of guy.
In modern times.
In my show, which should be out soon.
Well, he had a lot of characters.
Yeah.
Tramp. You come out like.
No, I come out like with a bowler hat and a mustache and heavy things, and then I have my anchor, which says, "And now, here he is, the greatest newscaster in the entire world, coming to you from the Capitol on what your government wants you to know. Here he is."
Oh, I like it. I like
Eric Von Ross. And I come out, and I say,
"Got all that? Did you get it all?"
Yeah. And then I keep on going through this, and I read the writer's sheets and everything else on my desk and everything. And he says, "Now on the economy."
Yeah.
And I do and then I do the same thing. And he says, "Now on the world situation." And then he says, "And that's what your government wants you to know."
Yeah, you heard it here first. Straight from the shoulder.
Straight from the show.
Yeah, right. Shoulder. Right from the shoulder.
Right from the shoulder.
Well, that's good. So is that a sort of way of saying you don't have very many strong opinions? Or what does that mean? What about the comics who will, like Rickles? Oh, he was a piece of work. And Mason.
Yeah.
Boy, those are two big people in terms of being, you know.
Yeah.
I just wonder.
Well,
we have celebrities. You know, the politics now is much less important than just celebrity. If you become a celebrity, this Gaga girl, there's somebody Gaga.
Oh yeah, Lady Gaga. Yeah.
She just did something, or something like that. So the showbiz people, like Tim Robbins, is associated with liberal and that kind of stuff and everything. Does it go that way, or is there, you know, what is that? It's celebrity. People that are celebrities are what people go to for that. Or the Comedy Channel is where the kids all get their news now. They don't go and watch the news with the reading of the news and what's this and that. They go to the Comedy Channel for Jon Stewart and Colbert and all that kind of stuff and everything. You didn't ever take a thing like Stewart right now. It's got a huge take on things, and so does Colbert in that. They play off words and all that. What's the role of the celebrity comedians, let's say, in terms of setting the agenda for the large institutional structure of things around issues like justice and so forth? And so, what's the role? Is it better just to annoy? I'm sort of just fishing around.
Okay, all right, okay.
Or where do they fit in? Or how should they fit in? Should we listen to these comedians and the people like that? Or,
okay. Well,
George Carlin was a great one like that. You know?
Oh, he was wonderful.
He was very committed.
Yeah,
I mean, he had ideas. And he said, the system people who run it, they don't care about you. You know, this kind of thing. He took a position in terms of the larger issues of the human condition.
They're very valuable. In my opinion, because without them, without the entertainers, without the people that make you happy when you watch them and make you excited, I mean, these fundraisers, these political conventions things, I mean, I don't know if they would draw. I don't think they would draw as much as if we didn't have those people there, because when those people are there to reinforce all the politicians, it creates interest. It creates it creates so much wonderful auras in the whole place. People dig in their pockets, they give money, everything else.
Right.
So that's what I think. This is all about. Everybody needs help, even the politicians. And without the entertainers are tremendous draws, especially when you become really famous and they're popular.
That's what I'm saying. If they come out in favor, like John Wayne was very right wing. He was all in favor of the Green Berets and let's go in Vietnam. You know, so those are the people that set the pace in the minds of a lot of people. They pay attention to those entertainment. People want to become that way, and there are larger issues beyond that. But then there's also people who Saturday Night Live, or you can do comedy and everything just off the human condition. Lucille Ball. Just a family situation without getting into anything having to do with politics or the state of the world or anything. You know what I mean? There's some people who aren't.
Sure.
What do you think? You apparently don't get very involved in issues. You wouldn't think of yourself as being concerned with issues. Okay, that's fair enough.
I'm not political. I have no interest.
Political, right? Okay.
I'm not political. I have no interest at all. I don't go left. I don't go right. I just listen. I just want to be safe.
You got enough trouble handling yourself, I would think. I would suggest maybe, but anyway, no, I understand. That's just an issue with celebrity and where do we get the ideas from and all that kind of stuff and everything. It's amazing. And then a lot of people like Chaplin would cue off Hitler.
Yeah.
You know, with the modern time. No, what was the one where he played Hitler? I mean, it was that thing. I forget now the film. It was so in 38 or something. And he was just mocking it or something because it was so grim. But you could use that as something to.
Yeah, but that was.
And then run against the grain. Or Lenny Bruce. Did you know Lenny?
Oh.
Did you know Lenny?
Sally Pearl, his mother,
Lenny
and I
Bruce
were dear friends.
Oh, really?
Sure.
Okay.
And Sally Pearl used to book the Playboy Club. Sure.
Yeah, but did you know Lenny?
No, I never met Lenny.
He was a hard case. I mean, he got very, very involved on the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was there very much criticizing the government. Do you think the comedians and that kind of stuff, or the stars, would criticize the government the way he did. He got in a lot of trouble for that. Abby Hoffman.
Yeah.
Remember Abby? We had the Vietnam.
Yes.
Were you involved when Vietnam? Were you at all when they were dropping napalm on little children in Vietnam in our name? You didn't get involved even then?
Not at all.
Abby Hoffman, who I loved. I liked Abby Hoffman. He was really something. It was whoever was the head of that band threw him off the stage at the Woodstock Festival. Would you have been at the Woodstock Festival?
No, Harold, I would not. Do you think I'm going to lay in the mud and I'm going to penetrate all those women out there? There were so many babies being made, and they were sleeping there and doing everything. That's not my bag, Harold.
You like the city. You don't like the country with all the bugs.
I don't.
And the discomfort. You don't like the discomfort.
I want to be
already.
comfortable. I don't want to lay in the mud, Harold, please.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was there, and we were there, and it was great. My friend Richie Havens kicked it off. 600,000 people.
Oh my God!
It was an epiphany, brother. It was an epiphany. And everybody's there. In fact, if you look at I'm not really sure, but if you look at the cover, and it was just music.
Yeah, right.
But they had at the cover, you see a little red dot, and we had we were from Woodstock, or we're from New Paltz, near Woodstock, so we had a big 8-foot in diameter weather balloon full of helium that we put up in the air, and then we tethered it to the ground so the people from Woodstock, it was in White Lake, where it was held, and we would know where to gather and so forth. So I think that dot is there. And they were all moving and the hog farm and all these, and the fences all went down. It was like free-form jazz and everything, and the food just manifest and everything. Nelson Rockefeller said it's a disaster area.
Sure.
And everything like that. And it just came off. It was just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, wow.
500,000-600,000 people on there over 4 days with red mud.
Yeah, that's right.
It came after the third or fourth day and everything like that. But everybody got along fine. Food seemed to manifest and everything like that. It was an epiphany. I think it marked. You missed a major thing, I would suggest.
Oh, I'm sure I did.
You wouldn't have wanted to be there. Even
you
could have been there in like a Winnebago. You could have been on the outskirts of that, and you wouldn't have to go and wallow around in the mud with all the hog farm people. But you could have been in a nice, comfortable, air-conditioned Winnebago that you could go to, but you didn't want to do that.
No, I didn't want to do that.
You didn't want to have anywhere near it.
No.
You didn't want to get near crowds?
No.
You don't want to get near crowds?
No.
It's a singular thing. Okay. Anyway, Abby Hoffman, who was protesting the war. I was protesting the war.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
That kind of thing. And I'd rather we didn't blow up the whole world. I really think we got new weapons that can blow up the whole world, which is brand new over all of our history and everything. So I'm concerned with that thing. But who was it? Who was it that threw him? Tompkins? From the Grateful Dead? Or I forget what. Anyway, Abby got up there trying to talk about Vietnam, which was a big burning issue at that time, and he threw one of the guys, I forget, Peter Townsend, I think, he threw Abby off the stage. This is a cultural event. This is not political. But you don't go near the political stuff.
No, I don't. I don't
have any thought.
No, I have no thought at all.
You never thought of channeling Nixon. Nixon would have been a great people to try to mimic. You didn't mimic people.
No, I didn't.
In your act.
The only thing I remember about Nixon was when he was running for president.
I am not a crook.
I am not a crook, but then they had signs all over Broadway, which had a picture of Nixon right there, and there was a big sign saying, "Would you buy a car from this man?"
Yeah, right.
And I looked at it, I says, "Absolutely not."
Absolutely yes? No.
No!
You wouldn't buy a
No! I wouldn't buy a car from that man.
You would not?
No!
Oh, that's what you
Because the vibes were not good.
Yeah.
His vibes, he threw off such terrible vibes.
Yeah.
It just didn't make me feel good.
Made an opening to China, didn't he? Isn't it odd? He
Yeah.
was such a thing, and then he made the opening. I can remember that when they made. Do you remember that when they made the opening? 72, I think. And they made the opening to China. They had television pictures of China. It was like looking at the moon. And now it's all going. Are you optimistic for the human prospect? Or maybe it's not fair to ask because it's not your concern.
Yeah, well,
you're not concerned with the human
I'm really
prospect.
not optimistic because I don't want to get into politics. I have my own views. I don't like the fact that they keep telling you that that there's only 15% unemployment. When, in my opinion, I think it's 30% unemployment. I think the government is hiding a lot of things from the general public because they don't want to panic. But this is my own views. These are my own opinions.
But okay, then taking that kind of a view of thing, it's not political.
No, I don't want to.
Because it's not political in the sense you have to decide between one party or another or something. Yeah. It's just in general.
In general, I'm not a party person.
Yeah, you're not. But you are obviously you're concerned that there are people suffering. You don't like the idea that people are suffering.
Exactly
Do you
right.
like to see people suffering?
No,
you don't care?
absolutely not.
If you see somebody sleeping in the street and the guy hasn't got any place to go, it doesn't bother you at all?
Of course
you're totally moralist, or you don't care? That's what I'm getting
Harold,
at.
it does bother me, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm not in a position to help the man. I mean, what could I do? I have to call the authorities and tell him, find lodging for him. Please pick him up. Please help me. Harold, I used to do that.
Yeah.
I did that years ago, and nothing happened. You walk in New York.
You're not cynical.
No, I don't.
No, you're not cynical.
Wait a minute.
Because you are concerned.
I am concerned.
Yeah,
but
and your humor can help.
Yeah. Oh, the humor. If I don't have the humor, I would be miserable.
Curl up and die.
I'd be miserable.
Sure.
I mean, there's no one to make me happy but myself. So I must have the humor.
Okay.
Because I can't make you happy unless I'm happy.
I really enjoyed talking to you and everything. I'm so proud of MNN being able to corral a big talent like you.
Big.
Be a producer here.
Well,
you're going to help set MNN right up there where it belongs.
Harold,
listen, in the firmament.
Harold, I'm glad you said the word big.
Big white lights
Harold.
I see. Balloons. What do you call them? Dirigibles. Darrow.
Harold, I'm glad you said the word big because I weighed about 20 pounds heavier before I was bigger. But now I got a little smaller.
Well, you're just in good trim.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm in good trim.
You must be running around. Do you run the marathon and things?
No, I don't do anything.
What are you doing with your stomach there? You're just
my stomach,
caressing it.
I'm trying to get rid of it, to tell you the truth, Harold.
That's a good idea, but I don't think that works so well.
Well, I have to keep on trying, Harold, because it keeps on popping up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to get rid of it.
So tell me about your show you got, and also, I don't mean to pry, none of my business, family. You get married, you have kids, or anything like that, or you've been on your own a whole while?
I'm not married.
You left a lot of broken hearts in that trail?
No, I was married. I had a wonderful wife, and now, of course, she's married to someone else, and
children?
No, I have no children.
No children.
No. I had a cat.
I had a cat. I have two cats.
I have two cats now.
They're wonderful.
I love them. I love them.
Oh, they are great. I have two cats and two dogs.
Oh, it's wonderful, Harold.
Yeah.
I must tell you about my cat, though.
Tell me.
Okay. Now, I used to work a lot of cruise ships and everything else.
Okay.
And the thing is that I had a wonderful agent who was a lawyer, and he called me up and he says, Danny, he said, we did so well this year, so well, I want to give you a bonus. So I say, oh, Jerry, that's absolutely wonderful.
Great.
I said, how much money are you going to give me, Jerry? He says, no. He says, I'm going to give you a cat. I says, a cat? I says, Jerry, a cat is a liability, and cash is an asset.
Yes, right.
I need assets, Jerry,
yeah, right.
not a liability.
Right.
He says, no. He says, you've got to see these kids. He had two show cats. They were purple. Lavender,
purple,
and they had a litter of 6 cats. So I went to the office, and there was 2 cats left, and they were really beautiful. They were ruddy, and so I said, all right, Jerry, I'll tell you what, I'll take them both. He says, no, you can't. You can only have 1 cat.
Why?
He said, male or female? I said, well, I'll take the male then. So
Tomcat.
I took him. He was an inch long.
Wow.
An inch long. He's sitting in the palm of my hand, and I said, oh, Jerry, if I kiss him, I'm liable to swallow the poor kid.
Right.
So I gave him back to the mother, and she weaned him for 6 weeks, and then I got him.
Yeah.
And I was on WR. I was an anchor for Joe Franklin for 20 years.
Joe Franklin's great.
Yeah, for 20 years on WR.
Iconic figure.
Yeah, I did over 300 shows with Joe.
Wonderful guy.
And I interviewed a woman. Her name was Pat Widmer, who wrote the book. How to bring up cats.
Okay,
and
I don't know the book, but okay. I'll try and find it.
Yeah. So she taught me how to bring up the little kid, which I named Clarence.
Clarence Darrow.
Clarence Darrow, absolutely.
Clever.
Because
For the Defense.
Yes.
That's
the defense.
That's a big book.
Now,
I was raised on it, yeah.
This kid was so smart, I was thinking about sending him to law school.
Oh, right.
He was brilliant.
Right. With a name like that, how can you miss Clarence
now,
Darrow?
I toilet trained him, so he would go to the toilet.
Yeah.
He would flush the toilet. He'd flush the toilet.
Flush it. Not a litter? Not litter?
No, he was a genius.
Oh.
He would play. He would play catch and fetch with me. I would throw the ball. He would pick it up, bring it back to me. All right.
Yeah.
Now at night, we would sit around the table. I put a little bib around.
You and he? Is that it?
Huh?
You and who? Who's sitting
And
around?
Clarence,
the
my little cat.
Yeah, you and he. The two. You and the cat.
Me and him.
I had a friend who was a good friend of Allen. You know Ginsberg, Allen Ginsberg?
Name something.
Ray Bremser. He was a great beat poet and everything. We went to visit him up in the Cherry Valley where Allen lived and everything.
Yeah.
And he was and he had a house with Bonnie. He had written blues for Bonnie. And he had a goat in the house. A goat walking around in the house.
No,
and you sit at the table, swear to God, a full-grown goat. You sit at the table here and you're having something there, and the goat's over there looking up just like sitting, and he's right on level with the table.
Yeah.
The goat just
It's wonderful.
But tell me about the Clarence. What happened?
Clarence used to sit at the table with his paws over here. I had a bib around him. He had 2 feet down on the chair. I said, Clarence, don't you start eating until your father starts eating.
And he would start eating?
He would sit there. No, I would start eting, and then he said, all right, okay, now Clarence, now you can start eating. And we both eat dinner together all the time.
I'll be darned.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And at night, for 18 years, he slept in my crotch every night.
Wow, yeah.
If I rolled over, he would get up and complain until I laid on my back. He'd get in position. 18 months until he passed on.
I'm
he
sorry
was the best little I ever had.
Yeah, best cat.
The best cat.
Yeah, I know. You don't have one now.
We have 2. I have 2. Yeah, 2.
When you say we, I don't mean to pry.
I have an assistant that works with me.
I see. Okay.
So so she comes and she brings her cats, and I have the cats in my house.
Good. That's good. That's good. And you're living in New York. You're a New Yorker now. You're in Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago's loss is New York's gain. You've been here for a long time.
I've been here since 1958.
58. You're a New Yorker.
Yeah, a New Yorker.
Well, I've been here for almost that long. I'm from Detroit, so there was Midwestern invasion. Right?
Yeah,
good. We're from the Midwest. Let the Midwest. Who else is there? Johnny Carson was from the Midwest. I think. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we only just began to scratch the surface of a very, very interesting life. The show. We've only got a couple of minutes left. Is it up and going now? Here,
we're going to do some more editing. I have to do, I think, another 20 hours of editing.
What do you want to do? How do you see the show? I mean, what's it called? When is it going to? Is it got a scheduled air time?
It's the Danny Darrow special.
Danny Darrow special.
Special, yeah.
Okay.
And I hope to be finished within the next maybe 20 hours or 30 hours of editing.
You know how to do the editing yourself?
Well, I have a wonderful woman, Gloria Messer, is doing.
Gloria, my God, she knows everything.
Yeah.
I remember the day she came.
Yeah.
She was nervous as a cat.
Yeah.
And she's really gets everything right, and she just gets it down. Boy, you couldn't be in better hands.
Yeah,
Gloria's
she's
really
wonderful.
Good.
She
knows
wonderful.
everything. About that, and she's helping you put it together. Great.
Yeah, she's helped me edit it.
Okay.
And then we have to then we do colorizing. And we're in post-production. It's just like doing a movie.
Okay, a movie's a big thing to do.
Yeah.
What's the show format? What's it like? How is it? Is it spontaneous? Is it scripted? How is it done? And what is it going to be called? Is that a name?
Okay, yeah, it's the Danny Darrow Special.
Danny Darrow Special. Okay, that'd be a one-time thing.
All right.
Yeah, right.
And what it is, it's the opening of the record that this disc jockey, Frank Mendez, did for me 2 years ago that hit the top of the charts all over the world in the dance clubs.
I'm sorry, one more
Okay,
thing.
2 years ago, a disc jockey by the name of Frank Mendez remixed one of my old recordings called Doomsday.
Okay.
And it hit the top of the charts in all the dance clubs all over the world.
Really?
Yeah, it's all over the internet. They just punch in Yoo-Hoo and Goggle and everything else, and you'll find it.
Find what?
You'll find the recordings. You'll find me on YouTube. You'll find me all over.
Name. Okay, good.
Yeah, Danny Darrow sings Frank Sinatra on YouTube. You see all kinds of craziness about me.
Good.
Yeah, and what it is I have a wonderful guest. She's in a movie now coming out with Al Pacino, 2011, and then I have my anchor Danny Dennis, who was Sam Breakstone, and the Honda salesman. He's an Obie winner. He did over 600 commercials.
Okay, and this is coming. This is coming, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a wonderful show.
Wait, it's coming. It is coming. It really is. The Danny Darrow program is special. It's coming. Danny, great pleasure.
Thank you.
Beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Oh, thank you so much,
Your pleasure
Harold.
to have the perceptions of a great M&M producer, Danny Darrow. What a name. game. What a great thing. We're looking forward to that. Your pleasure to have his perceptions. We invite you to tune in. We'll be coming back again tomorrow. And Danny, thanks a lot. The beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah,
we got to keep in touch with
Harold, you're so wonderful. I'm so happy to be on your show.
Well,
thank you so much.
I'm so happy to have you on my show.
Oh, my God. Thank you, Harold.
We can compare cats and dogs and chickens and so forth and everything like that. And it's really impressive, and happy to have been able to share this with you in the audience. So thank you very much for coming back again tomorrow. Thanks, Danny.
Thank you so much.
Very